Hello YouTube. I welcome you guys back to another video on Tau, a Roblox free-to-play or a first-person shooter, free-to-play first-person shooter game where you can build, shoot, and well, murk your enemies. Now, this is going to be a revised building tutorial, and due to my own inconvenience, after noticing I wasn't really explaining things the way they should have been, and for that I apologize. However, I'm here now to right that wrong and just kind of make sure I don't do that again. Now, I would like to also mention thank you for the support for those who have come to watch my videos. Of course, I've just been doing mainly gun testing. It's not a bad game, but I know it can get boring. I've been taking a break from it. However, again, I thank you for the support. Now, what I'm going to go ahead and do is say this. Before we begin the tutorial, what I would suggest you do now is pause the video, go to the game's group, because of course, to utilize the building tool to, of course, make a base, you need to be in the group. Now, I do not know why you need to do it. Of course, I didn't create it. Sadly, it is what it is. However, after you do so, to start the process, you could do one of two commands. And do note, I will be putting all commands used in the description below. Now, that and the pinned comment in the comment section. However, without further ado, let's begin. All right. To start us off, what we need to do is create a plot. Now you could do it by doing one of two things. You can do the two initials C and P together, or you could do create plot, as you see in the chat bar on the top left-hand corner. How you know you created a plot is with the following here. Of course, you have your plot and so forth. You can also see if it's your plot by the color of the barrier. And then again, it's also the amount that you can, or really the limit that you have. Now, after you do this, all right, on to the next part. To begin making your base, at the middle section, there is the new part tool. With this, what you can do is create one of the following parts. Now, I will let you know, the spawn tool doesn't work. That is one of the only ones that is kind of bugged, and I'm not sure what it really was supposed to be, because this is like Cole's admin, or it's one of the admin scripts that essentially allows you to do like FEX, as you can see in the bottom right hand corner. So you could create one of the following, and pretty self-explanatory. Like you're able to create wedges, trusses, which the truss, for those who don't know what a ladder or the definition of a ladder is, the truss is considered the ladder. And as you can see here, built the ladder going up and down and so forth. While starting, I have a personal suggestion that you don't have to listen to. But if you choose to follow my guide, or if you just want to do your own thing, I would suggest putting the increment for what you move at, like instead of one where it's just like this or something like that, I would make it 0.1. For this allows you to push it up against the wall of the border easier. And then you can also do 0.01, which will also help move the increment closest to the wall, depending on if you have like OCD or something. I'm not saying that is bad, but if you have OCD and you want something that fits on all sides, then you can do this. Now, I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to, then it's there for you to do. And of course, you could expand it going either way. And if I run over here, I could put it up against the wall. Now, before you actually go ahead and do this, what I would suggest you do, like instead of just ramming it all the way up, as you can see, it kind of just shoots back the part itself to where it would last was held. So if I had it from here, it would just go back. Because I'm basically moving out of its vicinity that it can work with. However, if I just gradually move it like so, there won't be any problems. And it's as even as it can get on all sides. And of course, if I want to move it up, there you go. However, I'm going to keep that there for now. And I'm going to go ahead and go over here and do something else. I noticed in the comments that people were wondering how I was able to change its like texture. Well, not really texture, but material. So if I go here, there is the material tool right below the paint, or right below the paint and right above the part tool. Or you could just press N, depending on what you're on. I'm not really sure for mobile. I haven't really tried playing mobile on this game specifically, so I'm not really sure what that would be on mobile, but it would be the same model, uh, what's it called? Texture as the cog right here. However, to change the surface material tool of whatever you want to change, left hand corner, right here, you can see all of this. If I want to make it neon, here we go. If I want to make it diamond, here you go. Or diamond plate. If I want to make it sand, here you go. The material tool allows you to make stuff into basically anything, in a sense. Now, of course, glass isn't really glass in this game. So, yeah, it's really whatever. It depends on how you want to do it. However, I like to say that a lot. I apologize if it gets annoying. Bad habit. But if you want to make a type of window, you can do one of two things. Firstly, you can make it into a force field. As you can see, I have a force field even though I can't really walk through it, which I'll explain what or how to walk through a force field in a minute. But you can make a force field into a type of window, depending on how you want to build a base. Like, if I can get that back over here. Like right here, I have a window here. I can make it transparent to where I can walk through it, or I could shoot through it. Now, the collision tool is what you would use for that. And as you can see, I am able to use a collision tool with relative ease. For other parts, like, or not parts, but for other material types, it's in the same vicinity, depending on what you personally choose. Here's brick, cobblestone, concrete, corroded metal, diamond plate, fabric, foil, force field, as you saw before, glass, granite, etc. You can go through this yourself, and so forth. Now, for the neon, for those who want to make their base fancy, the neon tool is, of course, the best type of choice that you can do. Whenever you want to, let's say you want to add a neon, but it doesn't really give off any light. Like if I was to do cyan here and I make the time 0, it doesn't really have a light. I mean, of course you can see it, but it doesn't really give off a light. Now, to fix that, if I was to go to the lighting tool, what I personally suggest you do is the spotlight and the point light. The spotlight is meant for a single radius. As you can see, its range, brightness, and so forth. If I make it 10, there you go. Max is 5. For the spotlight, I'm able to change its color how I choose. I press OK. It's a cyan spotlight, a cyan neon light. Pretty cool. And then, of course, the point light, if I make it 10, it goes in a... Well, yeah. Also, you can increase the range. Like if I was to do 100, sorry for those in the dark, but yeah, you could flashbang somebody like that. Now, since I know it's not comfortable, let me go ahead and... There we go. Much better. For certain bases, like my first or second base, I decided to... yeah. I decided to use certain lights in certain areas. Like for the bottom right here, I used a point light, which is cyan. If I go over here, same. Up here, or I think, yeah, up here, I did a similar thing, which is this, it's under this, I believe. If I move, oh wait, no, that's the whole thing. Well, yeah, of course, it depends on how you want to do it, but it's there. The point light is very useful to have, and I mean, I do have to kind of fix over here. I just haven't played in a bit, but that's easy to fix because to show y'all something, if you want to add like a light source into a base that already is pre-built, what I would suggest you do is just kind of leave a little bit up. And what I like to do with this is I can add point light to it, and I can also increase it to 3. And then this also has that orange hue. Like each of these has the orange point light view or a hue. I can make this cyan, and there you go. There's light in this corner, and all I have to do is just hide it down there. Now, do note it doesn't specifically have to be like neon. Like as you saw there, I was able to make plain um, a plain part tool become a light source. Really, it depends on how you want to build. Now, I can I will also be explaining in the description that like what does what. I'll be explaining what the collision, surface, paint, material, and new part tools do, and of course the lighting. The move tool and the resize tool are both kind of self-explanatory, but again, I'll explain all of them the best I can. Now, the mesh tool, to I'm not really sure what the mesh tool specifically is. Like if I was to go here and try and mess with the mesh tool, of course it turns into a head or a flat head. Yeah, if you were to ask me what this does, not even I know. Like you can make it into a sphere, cylinder, wedge, sphere, head, file. I'm not really sure what the file is. Maybe for like games or something. But yeah, there we go. Now, of course, this may not explain everything, but this is explaining some of the stuff that I may have missed out on, plus some tips that I normally use myself. For an actual building tutorial, the first and second part, which I created this base for, should hopefully still explain how to build and so forth. And as you can see, just really, this is just a plain base. And of course, I have a tower up there, which brings me to the last thing, the uh, collision tool. As you can see, I have collisions on this off. Now I have it on. Depending on the type of stuff that you want to be, like stuff that you can walk through, like this wall. I could completely walk through this whole wall and just shoot through it and so forth. However, now I can't. The collision tool basically is kind of like a no clip. For those who know what no clip is, then you know it. But if not, no clip essentially allows you to move through objects like so. Like I can easily move through this, I could walk through this, but I can't walk through this. And I could also climb up through this. Which does bring me to something else that I would like to explain. The transparency tool, or the material tool, allows for transparency and or reflectance. For the brick below, if I was to do one, I make it completely invisible. Right, if I put it back to 0, people can see it. The reflectance, I think it depends on the model, or not model, but what is used. Like if I was to use a new part, and if I could find it, go back to this, and I tried this. Okay, so yeah, you see how it's reflecting now off the light? That just kind of gives it a shiny effect. So that can also be used for like this, maybe. Nah, yeah, as said before, it really depends. But yeah, now I do want to say if this video doesn't really explain much, I hope the comments, or not comments, but I hope my messages in the comments will hopefully clear up some things. If not, then of course feel free to send a message and I'll try to respond to it in time if I'm able to. But do note, this is not a tutorial to spawn in weapons or how to do that. If people need me to do that, then I can do it. If not, then yeah, it's whatever. However, hope y'all enjoyed the video, and I hope this revision helps at all. If it does, or if it did, I'm glad. If not, then I apologize, and please feel free to tell me what I may have forgotten in the description or in general. Um, oh yeah, let me go ahead and turn this collision back on. There we go. Okay. Anyways, hope y'all enjoyed the video.